Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.
While the Conservatives wasted hour after hour after hour after hour, they read from a podcast in order to delay the work of this committee, as this committee, the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois, tried to get at the very issues that Mr. Hallan just talked about. And the Conservatives wasted meeting after meeting after meeting in a flight of fancy to do things like calling Mark Carney because they think he's going to be the next Liberal leader.
Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron back with another great committee video. This one is off the hook. Don Davies, NDP Liberal coalition member, flips out here a bit, snaps back at my guy JASRAJ Hallan, one of my favorites. I think he's from Forest Lawn, Calgary. He's a stud MP, cowboy, and Don Davies really puts up a fight here. It's so, these committee meetings, guys, let's get into it. Let's take a look. It's pretty wild. I like JASRAJ Hallan, you will too after this video. Let's take a look. JASRAJ Hallan, Don Davies is an issue, guys. This NDP Liberal coalition is real. It's a problem for us. Here it is in committee. Let's take a look.
For a full third round, and so we're starting with MP Hallan for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try to make this quick, and I'm hoping we can get to a vote quickly. I hope you'll pause my time, because I wanted to move a motion that we have tabled, and I believe it's been distributed to everyone, that given the large workload the committee has on the docket, the committee instructs the Chair to book 5 meetings between July 8th and September 13th, while the House is adjourned, to deal with unfinished business and pressing matters facing Canadians, including the cost of living crisis, housing crisis, and the impact capital gains tax changes will have on Canadian small businesses. Common sense Conservatives are moving this motion because after 9 years of Justin Trudeau and the Liberal NDP government, they've created a cost of living crisis. Mortgages and rents have doubled. Housing costs are out of control, all while there is a housing crisis that this government caused. Carbon tax 1 and 2 has made gas, groceries, and home heating more expensive. 1 in 4 Canadians that we found out today are not just food insecure, but living in poverty, and there's a record food bank usage across the country. OSFI is warning of a price shock for mortgage holders. Loan loss provisions at Canada's banks are at all-time highs. Organized crime and foreign actors are involved in money laundering in Canada. TD Bank is accused of money laundering the proceeds of fentanyl sales by Chinese drug lords. The job-killing capital gains tax hike punishes workers, small business owners, farmers, fishers, tradespeople, and the family members who inherit property from loved ones. Justin Trudeau has doubled the national debt, and now Canada spends more on servicing the debt than it does on healthcare transfers to the provinces. There are significant issues plaguing this country, yet the Liberal NDP government is more focused on ramming half-baked omnibus bills and tax hikes than listening to real Canadians who are suffering from Justin Trudeau's policies and Chrystia Freeland's spending, all being propped up by the NDP to protect Jagmeet Singh's pension. So common sense Conservatives are ready to work for Canadians over the summer. I hope that my other colleagues around the table are too. Thank you.
You see MP Davies' hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, it's funny, if there was a definition of hypocrisy in the dictionary, it would probably include this motion. I sat here in this meeting while the Conservatives wasted hour after hour after hour after hour. They read from a podcast in order to delay the work of this committee, as this committee, the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois, tried to get at the very issues that Mr. Hallan just talked about. And the Conservatives wasted meeting after meeting after meeting in a flight of fancy to do things like calling Mark Carney because they think he's going to be the next Liberal leader, instead of focusing on the cost of living increase, hunger in communities in this country, passing a budget, bringing in tax credits for businesses across this country. The Conservatives delayed every one of those in order for their own partisan flights of fancy instead of getting at those real issues. And here they are now on one of the last meetings of the year. By the way, at a meeting that they insisted on to study the capital gains inclusion rate, which, by the way, all parties supported because we do want to hear from witnesses. And they were wasting time in the last hour when we have witnesses here to give evidence. You know, this is classic. Common sense, common sense isn't coming to conclusions without data or science. That's the opposite of common sense. That's ridiculousness. I mean, to hear Mr. Hallan talk about the job-killing capital gains measure, we just started the study. We're into it an hour and a half. And by the way, the evidence I'm hearing is frankly to the contrary of that. We haven't heard any real evidence of any impact whatsoever. In fact, we have economists here telling us there will be zero impact on job creation in this country on this capital gains measure. But of course, the Conservatives don't let facts get in the way of conclusions. I mean, they've already made up their mind on this. So, absolutely. Sorry, Mr. Chair, I'm hearing catcalling from the side while I have the mic, and it's difficult. I didn't yell and
MPs,
talk
members, please allow. The member has the floor. MP Davies, the floor is yours. And members, if you could keep the chatter down, please.
Thank you. Instead of common sense, I'd like some common courtesy. Perhaps would be a rare thing to expect from my Conservative colleagues. So it's absolutely absurd. I mean, this is a stunt to call a committee in the summer. We can call a Section 106 meeting anytime this summer if an emergency comes up. And by the way, the other thing is that I don't know about the Conservatives, but spending time in our communities with our constituents to ask them what their needs are and to find out what's happening in their lives, I think is every bit, in fact, I would say more important than the Conservatives' partisan games to try to look like they're working hard in the summer because they wasted days and days of meetings here, which is what they did do. And that's not a matter of opinion. Go back and look at the record of meetings. It's a mathematical fact. So to hear Mr. Hallan talk about this as a common sense, this isn't common sense move. This is this is not common sense at all. And what I'd like to do is dispense with this motion right away so that I can go back and hearing from every one of these witnesses who has something important to say. They all have different perspectives, and I respect that. But I'm here to hear from them. And the Conservatives continue to do this. They move a motion in the middle of a meeting. They called this meeting and wanted witnesses to come and hear from them and then interrupt the witnesses that we all have called here to get the feedback that we need from them on an important public policy matter. And then they interrupt that and waste the last the part of the meeting while we debate some motion that they have for partisan purposes. I'm trying to search for a phrase that describes that, but I'll tell you what, common sense is not one of them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to vote against this, and I think that we should have a quick vote on this. We can get back to hearing from the witnesses whose testimony I'm interested in hearing.
Okay, well, thank you, MP Davies. I see no other speakers. Clerk.
Dr. Fry? Dr. Fry votes against. Ms. Zarowitz?
I vote against.
Mr. Sorbara?
Contra.
Ms. Thompson?
Against.
Mr. Turnbull?
Against.
Mr. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Hallan?
In favor.
Mr. Fast?
En faveur.
Mr. Morantz?
In favor.
Monsieur Sainte-Marie?
Contre.
Mr. Davies?
Contre.
Yes pour 4, nays contre 7.
Okay, it's defeated. MP Hallan.
I'll turn my time over to Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, just as a point of clarification, I'm not sure what this committee's practice is, but when a member has their time and they use it to move another motion, they don't lose their time? No? I've been on committees where they do.
So time is suspended at that time because it's committee
Thank you.
business. Yes. Okay,
Thanks for
MP Chambers.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
So that's how it goes in the committee meetings. Like, JASRAJ Hallan wants them to work and continue investigating over the summer. Don Davies is, taking a hard stand against that. And you see the way the vote went. These conservatives do have an uphill battle. We need an election, because it would seem I watch all of this committee stuff, and it is frustrating because there is a roadblock here going on. These coalitions aren't good for Canadians. They're just, it doesn't seem to me they are. My name's Aaron. This is Question Period Canada. We bring you the best of the committees right here. We have other cool videos we make too, a bunch of funny shorts that are informative and fun. We do live videos, great community. Come and check us out, watch another video, study up on this committee stuff, guys. There's a lot of things happening that we don't see on network television ever. Look to your indies, because they're watching. I'm one of them. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment. I love the comments. Get notified for the live shows. That's important. That's it. But make sure you subscribe. I notice a lot of people watch the videos, don't subscribe. That's fine, but it does help if you do subscribe. It's just a click. It's free. Anyway, I'm Aaron, Question Period Canada. Thank you very much for watching this video and being patriotic. Why else are you watching this shit? That's it. I'm Aaron. Take care. Catch you next video.